So you're in the market for a budget racing wheel for your PS5, PS4, or PC, and you're looking at the Hori Racing Wheel Apex. It promises full-size realism at an affordable price, but here's what surprised me. This wheel might be setting you up for more frustration than fun. I've spent weeks testing it on everything from Gran Turismo to F1, and what I found was pretty eye-opening. If you're about to spend your hard-earned cash, you need to hear this first. For the best price, click the link in the description. Let's get straight into the problems. The first thing you'll notice is that 270-degree turn radius they proudly advertise. It sounds good on paper, right? More rotation means more precise steering control. But in practice, it creates a massive disconnect. You turn the wheel 270 degrees, but in most racing games, that translates to a much smaller, twitchier movement on screen. It feels less like driving a car and more like operating a remote control toy with a slight lag. Therefore, that big selling point. It's actually the root of its biggest flaw. You're constantly overcorrecting, going into a gentle sweeper. You might just spin out because the sensitivity is all wrong. This brings me to the Hori Device Manager app, which is your only tool to fix this. The promise of deep customization with 4 profiles is a lifesaver on the surface. You can adjust dead zones, pedal sensitivity, and switch between 270 and 180-degree modes. But here's the rehook. What if the tools to fix the problems are themselves a problem? Navigating the app feels like trying to configure a router from 2003. It's clunky, unintuitive, and frankly, a chore. You'll spend more time tweaking settings than actually racing, which defeats the entire purpose. Is that really the authentic racing simulation they promised? Speaking of promises, let's talk about the full-size racing wheel and pedals optimized for authentic racing simulation. The wheel itself is decently sized, I'll give them that. It feels okay in the hands. But the pedals, oh, the pedals. They are the flimsiest piece of plastic I've ever had the displeasure of touching. They have all the resistance of a soggy piece of cardboard. Pressing the brake doesn't feel like slowing down a car. It feels like stepping on a bug and hoping it did the trick. For a product officially licensed by Sony, this is frankly embarrassing. It's like getting a sports car with bicycle brakes, and that sturdy clamp system they boast about. It's sturdy in the sense that it will probably not fall off your desk, but it transmits every single vibration and groan from the wheel's internal motors directly into your furniture. It's less mounted security and more desk-mounted earthquake simulator. Your entire setup will rumble and shake during any intense race. My coffee cup became a percussion instrument. It's immersive, I guess, if you're simulating a ride in a broken-down tractor. Now let's address compatibility. Yes, it works with PS5, PS4, and PC. That's a checkmark. But compatibility and quality are two very different things. On PC, you're at the mercy of generic drivers and getting the force feedback, which is weak and buzz-why at the best of times. To work properly in games like Assetto Corsa is a mini-game in itself. On PlayStation, it's plug-and-play, but you're stuck with that default, overly sensitive feel unless you wrestle with that app. Therefore, universal compatibility is great, but a subpar experience on every platform isn't. Let's dive into the force feedback, or as I like to call it, the vague rumble feature. A good racing wheel communicates what the car is doing. You feel the tires losing grip, the weight transfer in a turn, the curb strikes. The Hori Apex. It just vibrates. It's a binary on-off shake that provides zero useful information. It's like your wheel is constantly having a nervous breakdown instead of telling you about the road. This lack of detail completely kills immersion and makes catching a slide nearly impossible. You're driving blindfolded, with someone just jiggling the wheel randomly. Remember that affordable price point of around $118. Here's a contrarian snapback. It's not affordable, it's a trap. You're not saving money, you're investing in disappointment. This wheel sits in a terrible no man's land. It's too expensive and problematic to be a casual toy, yet it's too cheaply built and imprecise to be a serious entry-level sim racing tool. You'd be better off saving a little longer for a used Logitech G29 or even a Thrustmaster T150. Those wheels, while more costly, actually deliver on their promises. The Hori Apex is the gaming peripheral equivalent of buying a knockoff brand cereal. It looks similar, but the taste is just sad and dusty. But maybe you're thinking, it can't be all bad, right? Well, here's a joke for you. What do you call the Hori Apex's force feedback? A mystery box, because you never know what kind of vague shaking you're going to get. Okay, that was terrible, much like the feedback itself. The only consistent positive from my testing was its ease of physical setup. Clamp it, plug it in, and you're technically ready to go. But that's like praising a restaurant because you didn't trip on the way to your terrible table. Let's look at longevity. The materials feel cheap. The plastic has a hollow, creaky quality. The wheel's rotation has a gritty, uneven feel in parts of its range. After a few weeks of moderate use, I started hearing new, concerning squeaks. This isn't a product built to last through hundreds of racing hours. It feels like it's designed to survive just past the return window before showing its true colors. For a product aiming for build quality, this is a massive fail. So who is this wheel actually for? That's the million-dollar question. It's not for sim racing enthusiasts. They'll hate it. It's not for casual players who want simple fun. They'll be confused by the app and frustrated by the handling. The only scenario I can possibly see is for a very young gamer who has never touched a racing wheel before and will be thrilled by the mere concept. But even then, you're training them on bad habits with awful pedal feel. You're better off getting them a well-made used wheel or a good gamepad. Here's another joke. Why did the Hori Apex cross the road? To get to the other side of the return period. I'll see myself out. But seriously, the value proposition just isn't there. When you consider the time spent troubleshooting, the lack of satisfaction, and the low-quality components, that $118 starts to look like a very poor investment. You are quite literally paying for the Sony license and the Hori name, not for a quality racing experience. What about the Amazon rating of 4.4 stars? This is a classic case of ratings not telling the full story. Many positive reviews are from first-time wheel users who have no frame of reference. "It works" is a common theme. They don't know what good force feedback feels like. They haven't experienced solid pedals. Their joy is from finally having a wheel, not from the quality of this asterisk wheel. Once you know what's possible even at a slightly higher price point, you can't unsee the Apex's flaws. Let's talk about a specific in-game example. In Gran Turismo 7, a game about car feel and precision, the Apex is a liability. The dead zone, even after adjustment, is either too large, making small corrections impossible, or too small, making the car jittery. The weak, numb force feedback means you can't feel the infamous understeer or oversteer the game is known for simulating. You're fighting the hardware more than the track. It turns a beautiful, nuanced game into a chore. Therefore, after all this testing, what's the resolution? The Hori Racing Wheel Apex is, in my honest opinion, a product to avoid. It fails at its core mission of providing an authentic, enjoyable racing experience. The steering feel is off, the pedals are a joke, the force feedback is a non-feature, and the software is a hurdle. Its only real merits, compatibility and easy physical setup, are completely overshadowed by its fundamental flaws. Here's my final joke. What's the difference between the Hori Apex and a disappointing birthday gift? You can usually return the gift. And my last piece of advice: do exactly that if you've already bought it, or avoid it altogether. Your sim racing journey deserves a better start. If you're looking for a proper entry point that won't make you quit in frustration, I've left links in the description to some far better alternatives. For the best price on those, and to avoid the Hori Apex, click the link in the description.